We are the lads from the Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the blues. We love you, what more can we say? Birmingham's a team down at St Andrews. We are loyal supporters of our team. We chanted Super Blues, ringing all around. Now all you blue boys know what we mean. We are the lads from the Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the blues. We love you, what more can we say? Let's see you in the cup, singing our song, helping and sharing the load. It's worth the point of all when we sing together. We're there at the end of the road. We are the lads from the Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy.
Browns couldn't spur the Blues on to score more again as we held our own against a Premiership team. Just shows how far we've actually developed as a team under Gary Rowett. 9th minute, respect for ex-Baggy Jeff Astley is admired by Baggies fans who openly say we're the best opposition they have had all season on and off the pitch. Well done also to Gardner and Foster for acknowledging the fantastic reception they both got from their former club. The biggest shock of the round, of course, is them from over the road managed to score twice. Blackpool continue their misery after being 2-0 up at half-time, and another top half-time team talk as Watford stand 7 past them, and the pressure must surely be piling on ex-Blues Boston Park. The IHL stuff has gone very quiet this week and nothing much more is heard from the Football League. Up next, Sheffield Wednesday away, and tomorrow as Gary and the boys will surely now be looking at continuing their amazing climb up the Championship. Are the playoffs a real possibility? Only time will tell. The ladies report excellent season ticket sales and the new fixture list is published today. A very happy 26th birthday to Sports Radio's very own Chris Pugh for yesterday, friend of the show. As for now, it's on with the rest of the season. Just another week in the life of a Birmingham City fan. Well, of course, it is the Tilton Talk Show on a Monday. Thanks for that roll on there, Chris, because we came to the end of that tune.
Yeah, it was a long one this week, wasn't it?
I need to measure these to see how long they're going to be, you know what I mean? Chris, many happy returns for yesterday, very much. 26 years old. You've just officially had the Sports Radio clap.
Past it.
You only get it once a year, it's all right. It is curable. Well, after the weekend, we're all seem to be in a jovial kind of mood and still smiling, as I don't think Birmingham City disgraced themselves in any way, shape, manner or form, even though they got knocked out of the FA Cup. I think it was all round a pretty dandy performance against Premier League opposition.
Yeah, absolutely. No disgrace in losing the game whatsoever. As you said in the introduction, it's a sign of how far we've come that we are a little bit disappointed to have not got something out of it. 2 months ago we'd have been dreading a game against a Premier League team, but
2 months ago we were dreading a game.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. But no, I think you can't really fault the performance. The 2 goals were a little bit soft, as you say, but in terms of overall performance against a Premier League side, I don't think we could grumble at all.
Yeah, no. Okay, in the studio tonight we've got GA who's just decided to walk in on us and make the door squeak. You need some oil on that door, Chris, because it's not very good for radio. Welcome, GA.
Thank you.
He's got something in his hand. We'll find out what that is in a very short while. Welcome this week also to Nat Peters. Good to see you back in the studio again.
Yeah, good evening.
And Mrs. Brown herself.
Good evening.
Right, what is it? GA's got something very strange in his hand when he came through the door.
Tea.
Iced tea?
Iced tea, yeah.
Iced tea in a bottle?
Iced tea in a bottle.
Yeah, you can keep that.
I'm intending to. Can I just say? Flipping diversions.
Oh, what? Can you say
Flipping
what?
diversions. It's taken me over an hour to get here, a journey that normally takes 20 minutes.
It takes me an hour and a half every week. That's why I leave 2.5 hours earlier than I should do.
Just want to point out that iced tea's the same colour as your hair.
Hey?
That's classic.
Right. Well, can I just say, up the villa.
I was actually going to come on to
No,
that.
you can't.
Yeah, not in here you can't. No. What have you done to it?
I did tell you, I had it dyed for charity.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and how much did you raise?
We raised £56.
Oh, that's all right. No,
Money.
£56. What was the charity?
It was. I should tell you. I should know.
You should know.
After having your hair coloured that colour, yeah.
Cystic
Cystic fibrosis.
And actually, can I just say, Talia, we're all rooting for you. Come on.
Bless.
Oh,
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Bit of sad news from the music scene tonight. Just heard that Demis Roussos has passed away.
Mm.
Okay. I thought you said the music.
Well, you know what I mean.
And name a Denis Roussos
Forever
song.
and ever and ever and ever. Do you remember it, Chris?
It's more like the Bee Gees.
It was like he was in the room.
It's like the Bee Gees, isn't it?
We all breathed in.
Right.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Well, let's start with the FA Cup draw. It has just been announced live on the One Show of all places. Live on the One Show, and I have tweeted our friend of the show, Mr. Andy Walker, to ask him why the FA decide to allow a great competition like the FA Cup to be drawn on the One Show. Brilliant tweet that just came through a few minutes ago from @Barnett's Run. And it's only a matter of time before the cup draw is done during an EastEnders special from the Queen Vic. Teams drawn by Miranda Hart and Mrs. Brown.
I can't even do it.
What's that sheep doing in there?
Bit of a mockery, don't you think that?
I was saying earlier. I think it's disgraceful, to be honest. I remember when I was a kid, even like not
Which
that
is a long
ago.
time ago now, might I remind you.
Yeah, like 10, 15 years ago, even like it just the FA Cup draw was simply they play the game. They play one of the games on a Sunday, after playing all the games, most of the games on the Saturday, and then straight after that game, the draw would be made, and that was that. And it wasn't like any of this lark where you'd have it on the One Show, be in an aquarium, whatever else. It was just about picking balls out of a hat and seeing
Getting on with it, yeah.
just-
And the excitement was there straight after the last game, was it? What's your thoughts on there still being an outstanding game after the draw's made? I mean, that happened like last time round. It's happened again this time round. And it's the Rochdale versus Stoke game tonight that's still got to be played from the round previous, and we've had the draw for the next round.
I just think, I've not really got much of a problem with it, to be honest. Like, I mean, who've Rochdale got? I'll be honest.
Stoke.
Yeah. No, who they got if they beat Stoke? Sorry.
Well, the draw is as this: it will be Palace versus Liverpool or Bolton, Arsenal versus Middlesbrough, then from up the road versus Leicester City, West Bromwich Albion versus West Ham, Bradford versus Sunderland or Fulham, Blackburn versus Rochdale or Stoke, Derby versus Reading, and Preston or Sheffield United versus Manchester United or Cambridge.
Well, no disrespect to Blackburn, but if Rochdale had got a bigger team, he would have put a hell of a lot more of an onus on the tie. If they've got the plum draw like Arsenal, Man United.
Look, I mean, we're as Birmingham City, we're out of the FA Cup, right? That's our FA Cup journey for this year over. I'm glad it kind of went out on a high. You may be laughing. I'm glad it kind of went out on a high, and there was like at least a packed St Andrews to see the game. You know what I mean? And the team gave everything. That second half, they certainly gave absolutely everything in the second half. But I do think that all the games should be played and finished, and then the draw done. You know what I mean? It's like,
I can see the point. I can see the point. But as I said, if Rochdale say got a really nice draw, like an Arsenal Man United, it puts a hell of a lot more onus on the game tonight, doesn't it?
But then that changes the perspective of that game, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What I would say is the draw's just been made and they kick off in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Although the fans in the ground are going to now know the draw, and probably the players will as well now, the preparation leading up to the game hasn't changed. That it won't have changed whether they'd have known the draw or not. They know the draw now, but they didn't yesterday when they were doing their drills.
Yeah, like I say, I'm not going to do down any of those sides, because there are some pretty decent sides still in the draw, actually, and I know some decent sides got knocked out, rightfully so, this weekend. Yeah. But if it had been, the Manchester United potential draw at home, or the Arsenal draw, or versus a Sheffield United and Preston, which one are you really going to root for? You're going to go out there and play your skins off if you've got a potential, monster of a game next time, aren't you? And I just think it just changes the perspective of the whole process, if you know what I mean.
Well, then you go on to the further point and say, do we get rid of replays? Because Cambridge know now that if they do beat Man United at Man United, they get to play Preston or Sheffield United away, which isn't really glamorous.
My opinion on that, I would get rid of the replay.
And then you stop Cambridge getting the opportunity to play at Man United.
Yeah, difficult one, isn't it? But then, had Cambridge, got through that tie, then they've got another lucrative tie, Preston, Sheffield United. Okay, it's not a glory tie.
It's a chance to get through.
And progress, to the quarterfinals then, and a team like Cambridge in the quarterfinals of the FA. That's what the FA Cup is for, isn't it? That's the beauty of it. That's why we all love it so much. And for the likes of when Manchester United decided that they weren't going to play in the FA Cup that one year, if I'd have been the FA and had a spine, I'd have said, well, that's fine, you do that, but for the next 10 years, we're not going to let you play in the FA Cup, thank you very much. You do down our competition, we'll do you out of it, end of.
I don't think they'd ever done that, because the amount of, interest and money that Man United must bring into any competition.
Yeah, but then Manchester United, shouldn't dictate what goes on at the FA.
No, they shouldn't, but money talks, don't it? Man United...
Sad face of football again, isn't it, now?
Yeah. But Man United can pretty much do whatever they want to an extent, because they're the biggest club in England, if not in the world. So they've got such sway.
Did you watch the Cambridge game on Friday?
Yeah, I
tell you what, they have their own, didn't they? Good and proper. Good and proper.
Absolutely turgid stuff. Honestly, how that is a Man United side with all those players in it.
Did you see the look on Ryan Giggs' face at the end of it?
He's probably wondering why he had to watch 90 minutes of long with us.
But it's not the first time United have come unstuck against teams like that. I mean, I remember years ago they drew with Exeter and Burton as well, or another one. They've been knocked out, not in the FA Cup as such, but in the Carling Cup. I remember, they've been knocked out by Coventry and Palace at home down here. So it's not
and this year, MK Dons.
Yeah, exactly. So that they do tend to struggle against these lower league opposition. But did you see what Louis van Gaal said about the game? He's basically said, moaning about how everything was against them, and I was thinking, actually my first thought was...
Apart from the £250 million worth of players that you've got on the pitch.
Yeah.
Get ready.
Get some extra sponsors in and this, that and the other.
Well, it's a silly move, isn't it?
Serves them right, don't it?
Yeah.
Well, again, they're another one. Like Man United, they've been shocked a few times down the years though. Like recently, even since the money came in. Last year they got knocked out by Wigan at home. I'm a betting man, but I was looking down at the the betting the accumulator sheet, looking at the odds. And Man City, even though they were 1-4, 1-5, I thought there's no way I'm touching that. They are always primed for a shock. And when I heard as well that they've been in Dubai all week, you got to think what's the mindset going to be when they're facing Middlesbrough at home? What I mean? Is their head still going to be on a beach somewhere? But
well, you think to yourself, if you're Middlesbrough and you see that your opponents in 3 days' time are still in Dubai, you must be thinking, we are just going to work our socks off, and
absolutely.
If we are still 0-0, we're going to be fitter than them with 10 minutes to go.
Got some breaking news thanks to a good friend of the show, Andy Walker at the FA. Wonderful response 3 minutes ago. I sent him a tweet, hey up, why is the FA Cup draw on the one show? It just seems a bit strange, thanks. And he's replied, BBC have the hosting rights, so they're using one of their hugely popular platforms to broadcast the draw, something different. And somebody else has tweeted, we'll be interested to see how the general public reacts. Football is hardly niche interest looking at social media. So, yeah. And Andy's just a second written again that the one show is one of the Beeb's most popular programmes, surely makes sense to be broadcasting to the masses. I can understand what he's saying, and it's prime time,
But it gets broadcast to the masses anyway. I mean, people aren't going to tune in. People will tune in to watch the FA Cup draw, whether it's on the one show or not. You know what I mean? Yeah. If it was on 6 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, people would get up and watch it. I don't think it needs
football
to be...
fans would.
Yeah.
Not one show.
Are they trying to attract?
They're trying to attract
different type.
Viewers,
yeah. Of course, yeah.
Maybe they've seen the viewing figures for the Cambridge Man United game on the Friday night, and it's not as good as they would have hoped, and they're just trying to get a few more people interested.
I can see it being broadcast from the Rovers' return or the Queen Vic though.
That was
It will be.
funny. Do you know
No,
that actually? That
it will happen
actually made
soon.
me laugh
Yeah.
out loud. That really did. It was.
Thing
I
is, it
think
wouldn't
it
even be that
was very.
surprising in years to come.
However, thanks Randy for that. And you can always rely on Andy from the FA to give a quick response, can't you?
Yeah.
Bless him. Bless him. Friend of the show. Right. Okay. So the biggest shock of the round then was them up the road managing to score twice.
Tell you what, I've never seen a team so happy to beat Bournemouth reserves.
I watched the Lambert interview afterwards, and that's the first time for a very long time that guy has actually lifted his head up, looked at the camera, and spoken fluently. You know what I mean? He must be absolutely bricking it now that they're into the next round, and their Premier League status is dwindling away week by week. 2 very hard matches to come, gents. We'll wait and see.
I've got a horrible feeling
They'll
that Carlos Gill's going to
He's a player.
Gonna set them on fire. He looks a very good boy.
He played against a pretty much second-rate Bournemouth team on Saturday, so let's wait until see when he comes up proper Premiership opposition.
He was at Elche last year, and before going to Valencia, he didn't get a big opportunity at Valencia, but he was a standout player at that in La Liga level.
That was
I
a goal
think
to announce your arrival,
well,
wasn't it?
yeah, it's a stunning strike. I think he'll be he'll fit in well there. I think.
All right, time will tell. Ex-Blues boss Lee Clark's Blackpool. I know we're not talking specifically Blues right at this minute, but what kind of team talk was that at half time? We get 2-0 up and then they get 7 slammed past them. Oh dear.
I don't know.
I mean, let's face it, though, that's probably not even going to be the worst moment of Blackpool's season, the way it's been going.
I can imagine him sitting on the end of the pier right now thinking...
Thing is with Blackpool is, I mean, as soon as he took the job, to be honest, like, if you rate him or you don't, that club has been in dire straits a long time before
It was
an impossible
he was down
job
before he
over.
went there. Yeah, I think
And
so.
now, I do feel for him. It's his own fault for taking the job in a sense, but I do feel for him because no matter what happens, he's going to come. His reputation can come out even more damaged when he eventually does get the boot or he eventually walks out.
It's a question why you took it. Why did you take it?
Yeah, I know.
Well, that was going to be my question. Yeah. Why would you after being at Birmingham City and losing so many games and not winning any games at home for such a very long time, why did you take on such a crazy job as that? Was it just to get back in football and perhaps...
Nat said before the show, he's left Blues, a club in financial turmoil with disruptive owners and a fan base that aren't happy. He's left us, and then he's talk about out of the frying pan into the fire.
I suppose it was just a desperation to get back into football management because I think once a manager's been sacked, jobs aren't easy to come by. So I don't know if he's just literally just desperate to take it. Because to be fair, if you want to put it in another way, when Gary Rowett took us over, you might have thought you'd have to be pretty mad to take the job at Blues because the way we were looking, I know he's turned it around very quickly, but at the time. No, I don't think anyone thought it was a particularly nice job to be taking. We just lost 8-0.
We've also got to be careful that there's that, just to make sure that this isn't still a honeymoon period that we're in, and that we can continue this. Anyway, Andy Walker's just written, and we do thank him obviously for his comments and bringing the magic of the cup to a potentially new audience while you're at it. All about promoting the game. Which I do see that point. It's a valid question. I think he's answered it quite eloquently. Thanks, Andy. There you go.
You talk about Blackpool again. What must he have said at half time? What must he have said at full time? What must that dressing room have been like at full time? 2-0 at half time. You go and you come back in having lost 7-2. That is a seriously damaged dressing room. That is.
What can you say as a manager?
That's actually got to be worse in many respects than our 8-0 defeat against a very good Bournemouth side. Who were in top form. You know what I mean? So.
In its own way.
Like I said, who forgot to lock the Blackpool dressing room door at half time?
Just stay on the game. What do we think about the atmosphere Saturday? I'll tell you why, because Capo said he reckons that for a full house the atmosphere was worse than 2 weeks ago. It was very mild and only a few outbursts were happening, plus Baggies fans were awful.
Well, that's not what I've been hearing on other media outlets today. From other people were saying the atmosphere was absolutely electric and fantastic.
It was hit and miss. The first half it went flat because obviously we go 2-0 down. I think, to be honest, when we went 2-0, I thought my life we were going to get pumped here because Annie Chavy was absolutely just battering us like.
Strong,
But,
isn't he?
Well, he tortured Robbo.
And Pulis is saying he's not fit. He's slamming him, saying he's not fit.
yeah.
He's slamming the guy, saying you're not fit.
Fit
Well-
enough to beat Paul Robinson.
Fit enough-
A
it was-
36-year-old Paul Robinson.
I mean, to be fair, we kind of negated his effect in the second half, and each of it, I don't know if that's down to his fitness or the way we changed the way we were defending. But it seemed to me that Morrison was picking him up a lot more in the second half, and they just said, look, because Robbo was getting turned inside out. But I think first half it was flat because the Albion, as I was saying before the show, the Albion, we showed them too much respect, and I think that fed through to the crowd, and the crowd, especially when the Albion got the couple of goals, they were fearing a pumping.
Yeah.
It was only once we actually got a goal just before half time, it suddenly lifted everyone. It was a perfect time to get the goal because we needed that going into half time. And then second half, I thought the atmosphere was pretty decent because Blues, I thought, were all over them.
Yeah, I was watching the game from a distance, should I say. Couldn't go. I've had awful car trouble this week. I've spent 260 quid on the car last week, yeah. Going home from here last Monday, grit a lorry, drove through it, smashed my windscreen. So that's got to be replaced tomorrow. Another 114 quid down the Swan Hole. So I was going to go to the Sheffield game tomorrow night with my eldest lad. He's been badgering me today. Oh, please, Dad, please go. So, I just can't at the minute, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've got quite a big job on this week as well. So would like to have gone. It's only up the road from where we live anyway. So it's only about an hour or so just up the M1, isn't it? The M1, yeah, beg your pardon. A50 M1. We could have been in there in an hour and a half, but yeah, I just can't do it. So, ouch. Never mind. I'm hearing that Gray and Donaldson are both going to start tomorrow night as well. Do you think that should have been the case on Saturday?
I can't believe he didn't start Donaldson on Saturday.
No,
In fact, actually, what annoyed me more was probably that he actually picked Novak rather than
Thomas.
Thomas. If he's gonna play anyone up front on his own, you do not play Lee Novak because he's never looked any good for me as an out striker at Blues.
He'll work when he'll run around, but
He'll work. But I personally think his best form at Blues has always been when he's put wide left and he's been cutting inside. He can do a job there, but up front he still works hard, but he can't. He doesn't impact the game. Now I would personally pick Donaldson because I think I'd have picked our best team on Saturday. I don't. Yeah. See why we didn't. I think he's actually Gary Harris now come out and explain the decision to rest Donaldson. I've not actually seen what he said, but personally, even if he was going to drop Donaldson, I would never have played Novak. I would have played Thomas.
I'll just keep you updated on the Andy Walker situation. He says just written in. Oh, beg your pardon. If I wasn't on a train, I'd tune in with a big smile. So I've told him to download the programme tomorrow. And another chap who has actually been on that thread. Let's have a quick gander at that one. He says a guy called Tim Arstall. He said, "Yep, FA Cup is much a part of British culture as anything so appropriate." So I think it's quite well answered. But, I think it's right. It's right that we can ask a question. It's great that we get an answer within minutes. Yeah. Nice one, the FA. Nice one, Andy Walker. Thank you very much.
I'm just reading through Rowett's comments now about Donaldson. He's basically saying it came down to he wanted Donaldson fresh for the 2 games he got this week.
I can understand that, right? Now, Birmingham, look, often Partizan have put on their site tonight, Cup or League. Well, we're out of the Cup, so it's the League. That's it. And for me, the FA Cup is just a magical, beautiful thing. You dream of getting to Wembley and this, that and the other. But for this season, I think in the situation that we're in, the League has to have been the priority all the way through.
The only thing I'd say is that I don't think, I'll be honest with you, I don't think we're going to win promotion this season. And I don't think we're going to get relegated. So why not just go for it in the Cup? Because at the end of the day, a Cup, League form don't come into it. If you win the game, you win the game.
There is always that school of thought in the back of your mind that if we do have that good Cup run, and look what happened last time we had a very good Cup run, we got relegated. But
I think we're too far out of it now to really...
No. Wolves fans were ringing in tonight onto Radio Wum, and they were saying, we could still get relegated. There's 19 games to go still now, yeah? That's a whole lot of points that folks could pick up.
It's also asking, after our run, it's asking a lot of teams to pick up. And it's asking some very, very bad teams to pick up a lot of points. I mean, the bottom 5 are some really terrible
Testing
teams.
point for Blues is going to be tomorrow night, Sheffield away.
On the road. I wouldn't see that as a testing point.
Again, it's a bounce back, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, it's a reaction needed. And and I think we'll get it. But Sheffield Wednesday away.
It's a tough game tomorrow.
That's not a given.
No.
And I don't think even the run we've been on. I don't think we still are in someone like Sheffield Wednesday's bracket in that league. I think with the team we've still got, we I don't think we're that far ahead yet. I think the teams like Millwall and Blackpool and Rotherham, there are big point games. If we do get something away at Sheffield Wednesday, then I think it's a bonus.
So are we disagreeing then, Mr. Spall?
What I'm saying is that, look, I think Gary's philosophy will be, look, we are now out of the FA Cup. Put all that behind you now, right? You've just experienced what it's like to have a full St Andrews for the very first time. But none of those players have seen that before, I don't think. Perhaps Ziggy Jazz, obviously,
Yeah.
But, probably none of the players have experienced what it's like to walk out onto that pitch. And I'm sure Keep Right On was ringing out, just before and it puts shackles. I'm just even thinking about it. Look, I've got goosebumps, right? You don't even need to sing the song to me, yeah? So what it must be like to actually walk onto a football pitch and have that sung at you, and it's all around you and it's everywhere, it's in the air and everything. But I'm sure Gary has took them aside and said, look, you've made a good account of yourselves. You take that away now, right? The FA Cup is now gone. Sit back and watch everybody else in the FA Cup, right? Tuesday night, we've got a potential for another 3 points and perhaps another place up, maybe 10th, maybe even
We can go 9th.
maybe even 9th tomorrow.
We can go 9th if we win tomorrow.
And what a boost would that be then for the club again, right? And all the supporters I've seen nothing negative come through social networks about the game on Saturday as far as Blues are concerned. Nothing whatsoever.
No.
I've even seen hundreds of nice comments written by West Bromwich Albion supporters, which I think has been.
It was a very good game, but
Yeah.
I think if we had picked Donaldson up front, or even if we picked Thomas, I think it would have offered something different to what Novak could.
Yeah.
Which is more pace, more directness.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have put Dyer in again to a game like that. I'd have bought, perhaps.
I thought he did alright.
I think
it's just
Lloyd Dyer, he lacks match fitness. You could tell because he's barely played for Watford this season. You got to remember, he lacks match fitness lacks match fitness. And what a lot of people didn't pick up on is I actually thought the geezer up against him, a guy called Andre Wisdom, right back. I thought he had a very very good game.
He did have a good game.
So, I think it's always going to be tough for whoever's up against him. But I think that Lloyd Dyer getting 75 minutes under his belt, that'll do him the world of good.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. It will do all of them players a world of good to find out what St Andrews was like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what it can be like again. And all you've got to do is, potentially tomorrow get to 9th, potentially the week after get to 8th, potentially in 3 weeks' time be in 5th or 6th position, and doubt the critics. And I know you're laughing at.
Well, I'm just thinking how far behind are we? I think it's still 10, 11 points.
No, 7 points.
Is it 7? Is it 4? I didn't realise.
I'll have a look at the table in a second.
Yeah.
I won't commit to it, but
I think
where were we 3 months ago?
Yeah, exactly.
Second from bottom.
And you can't really have a go at Gary Rowett considering how far we've come. You might disagree with him, but at the end of the day, he's the Blues manager and he's earned the trust of the fans. So you can't really have a go. But
I'm not having a go. No, I'm not having. I'm genuinely not having a go.
No, neither was I.
If Donaldson scores 2 tomorrow and Gray sets them both up,
and that's what I'm saying. That's the supporters. That's all the supporters are bang straight back on with the. We can go for this. We can start going for this. And maybe, if we can win tomorrow, right? Maybe Gary can instill into them players that there is absolutely no reason why you can't get into a playoff place.
All I would ask though is, would you want us to go up this season?
Would I?
Yeah.
For the money, yes.
No.
Because I've got a horrible.
Where's that money going?
I know.
Well,
we didn't disgrace ourselves on Saturday, but at the end of the day, we're playing against a very ordinary West Brom side. They're not a good Premier League team, and we did struggle
defensively.
And what I think, if we went up, we'd probably make a couple of additions, but it'd largely be the squad of players we've got now. I think we'd make that Derby team that got 12 points look like Barcelona.
Okay. I'll go for this. I'll play devil's advocate a little bit here. Right, let's. This is absolutely hypothetical. Let's assume that we go up through the playoffs, Wembley appearance, and the euphoria is there, and we get into a Premier League, and then we come down from that Premier League, but we still get the 60 million quid from Sky for coming down, plus the 2 lots of parachute. But have a guess what we could do with that back in the Championship?
Yeah, but where would that money go?
Exactly.
Well,
that's the thing. That's what
allegedly. I know. I'm dreaming.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no, there's no reason why you can't dream. And Blues fans will be dreaming at the end of the day. But I look at the teams in the top 6. We're not going to. They're so much better than the rest of the league.
Well, look at Derby at home on Boxing Day. I mean, Derby are fifth and they absolutely tore us apart.
I know we beat Watford.
You're going to do the Derby way,
but
Derby way, oh yeah, it's my favourite away day of the season.
Well, meet me up my end. We'll have a beer beforehand.
So I won't be about 15 in Derby. That's before the go.
I'll
get the end of the night. Yeah, I'll get there the night before.
We're taking it easy then.
Come the night before you. You're very welcome. Crash at mine. I'll be going in with the lads on the train. So
it's my favourite away day in the season.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd happily play Derby every single week.
It's only 15, 20 minutes up the road from my house.
It's only about half an hour on the train.
I don't even think Rowett could keep us up if we played Derby every day.
But no, that's a good away day. But even look at Derby has struggled a bit recently. But even if you compared us to them, the way we played against them, it was not.
I even teams who are below us at the moment: Cardiff, Fulham. Yeah, you got to back them to finish above us with the squads that they've got.
Time will tell.
Yeah,
time will tell.
I mean, remarkable.
I just haven't had this optimism for a very long time. And I tried to be optimistic last year when Lee Clark was in at the helm, thinking we could do this, we could. But I feel it inside me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there is a general much better feeling at St Andrews now, in and around here, social networks. I'm talking the whole ball game. Yeah, there is a much better feeling now than there has been for a very,
Isn't that
very long time.
more relief that maybe we won't go down?
Yeah,
that's probably what it is.
We lived at the bottom end of that table second half of last season, didn't we?
Of the whole of 2014, we were in there pretty much.
Exactly. I mean, the one thing I would say to back you up, which I always. When you talk about the playoffs, I always think of, and you just have to look at what Burnley are doing now.
Absolutely.
Burnley if you looked at Burnley's squad last season, you'd have said that they'd have finished mid-table or lower, and they ended up finishing second, and they're more than holding their own at the moment.
It can be done, and I know time will tell. And I think tomorrow, if we get 3 points tomorrow, then that's really, really, really going to spur us on. I really genuinely believe it.
The thing is with Burnley is that I know they're not a rich club, and they're not a particularly
they're a well-run club.
Stars, but they're a well-run club, and that the money that they get, it's going to go back into the football club rather than.
But at least Birmingham City FC is a well-run football club. It's just it's
where the money, Premier League money, would go. And actually, if we did go up, I think a part of me thinks the owners might take the opportunity to cash in on a once in a lifetime opportunity to just get
sell it.
club.
No way.
But then a bigger part of me thinks, well, what if they're going to milk that cash cow for all it's worth?
Yeah, absolutely. Look at the money they could get in then.
Doesn't bear thinking about, does it, either way around? You know what I mean?
No.
However, onwards and upwards. Up to and including today, we've had 12,833 programme downloads this football season. So that's another 400 odd this last week. Well done, people. Thanks ever so much. Keep it up. Where has that first half gone to?
Oh my God!
I know.
Oh my God!
I know. We haven't even got the whistle off the ball yet. Just while we're waiting for that whistle, currently, as it stands, Chris, there are 7 chances of Midlands football teams getting to Wembley this year, as it stands.
Are we including ourselves in that?
We are.
So obviously, I think the one with the best chance is Walsall, providing they don't cock it out tomorrow night.
We'll come on to the Walsall game after that, but yes, Walsall.
Obviously, the Villa. Well, they won't do it, but they've got a chance technically.
Versus
Leicester.
West Brom, so you could have them two in the semi-finals, right?
Leicester.
No, I'm talking pure Midlands. Not East Midlands.
Wolves playoffs, us playoffs.
Wolves and Blues in the playoffs.
Shrewsbury.
And Walsall in the playoffs again.
Walsall.
Same team though, isn't it?
No. Hang on.
Blues.
I'll count them up. We'll count them up at half time.
Blues, Villa,
West Brom,
Wolves,
Walsall again.
Did you say Leicester?
Can Coventry make the playoffs? Are we classing Coventry?
Tournaments or Kiddie Harriers? I don't know where they are.
Right, we'll go through this again in the
if the Women's FA Cup's held at Wembley this year, which it won't be, but it might be, then Blues ladies might get there. So there's your 7.
Half time, people. Right.
We are the lads from the Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the Blues. We love
And a big welcome back to the Tilton Talk Show, Monday night here till 9 o'clock. Nat Peters, GA, Chris Pugh, myself and Mrs. Brown. Right, okay, we actually did work it out in the half-time break, and it is nine potential Wembley appearances, which would be Walsall in the Johnson's Paint tomorrow. Good luck to them, 2-0 up against Preston North End.
Go on, the Saddlers.
Pinkies crossed. We'll come back onto that one straight after we've done this. Walsall then could get there in the playoffs. And then you could have the Village versus West Brom in the semi-finals of the FA Cup. You could have them meet each other in the final of the FA Cup. And then you could have a Blues-Wolves final in the playoffs and a Kidderminster Harriers final in the playoffs. So there we go. We're on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's see how many we get left at the end of the season. All right, and coming on to Walsall. Yeah, very good luck to Walsall tomorrow night. 2-0 up at half-time in the Johnson's Paint. And a packed-out... Is it still the Bestcott Stadium?
Yeah,
is it?
Still the best. It's called the Banksy Stadium.
Is it? It's crazy world.
It's always going to be the Bestcott, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Great opportunity for the club to get to Wembley for the first time in its history.
Yeah, it'd be nice. I mean,
all right, I'll ask you a question as a Birmingham City supporter. Would you buy a ticket for the final?
I'd probably be up for going, you know. Just
No.
No.
Not for me.
it's just a day out.
Little old Warsaw. It's little old Warsaw, isn't it? You know, I mean, they're nobody's enemy, Warsaw, are they? Really? You know.
The only thing about Walsall is that, you know, you get a lot of dingles who watch them, so it could, like, Blues fans turned up, it could, like, turn into a war. But I think
dear me.
no, I hope they get there. I'd be
West
up
Brom
for going.
reserves. Simple as that.
You wouldn't go then, Chris?
No, not for me.
Why? What reason behind it?
I wouldn't go to see Walsall at their place.
Right. So why would you at Wembley?
Yeah,
I understand. What I'm saying. Right? What I'm saying is, you know, there's quite obviously they're not going to take the 40,000 that we did down to Wembley for the Lyle Daff final. You know, there's going to be a lot of empty chairs there. I was just wondering, you know, would Blues fans be quite happy to fill them? Or fill some of them? I'm sure some of them.
There'll probably
would.
be a few Blues, probably a few Villa, a
few
Wolves,
West Brom, a few Wolves.
And I can see where you were coming from a minute ago as well, especially with social networks as they are.
Yeah. But no, I hope they get there.
I do hope they get there because, like, first time, you know, and their gaffer was again talking on radios on the way here, and he said a lot of their players haven't even been to the stadium, you know, to watch a game, let alone play there. So,
I mean, it must be hard being a Walsall fan where you are literally dwarfed by 4 or 5 clubs.
Yeah.
4, isn't it? Really? Yeah.
You got Coventry kind of as well.
Well, that's not dwarfing, is it? Really?
Not
That's
at the
standing
moment.
alongside. Really.
not at the moment. But, you know,
No disrespect, Coventry supporters.
It's hard. I mean, I remember I was speaking to a Walsall fan like a couple of months now. Well, no, and he said even on a match day, Walsall Town Centre is just full with Wolves and West Brom shirts. You won't find a Walsall shirt around at all. Like, it's a shame, really. But
well, good luck to them anyway tomorrow. You know, it's a great opportunity for a small club to once again to earn a good stack of money. And going back to the Cambridge scenario, they're going to take 1.5 million from the Man United game. That's their running costs for a year. Which which puts me back to understanding your point of view from earlier. Yeah, difficult one, but there you go. Right, Chris, update us on the ladies if you would.
Yeah, the WSL fixtures were released today.
I saw your Liverpool tweet earlier.
Yeah, I would have liked Liverpool at home, but we start with Manchester City at home.
tough game.
So mighty tough game.
Mighty tough Blues.
Yeah, absolutely. We beat them last season. Not quite sure what team Man City will be able to put out on that day because I'm sure their spending hasn't finished yet. But we actually finish with 3 away games, which is a bit weird. Is a little bit naughty. I think they could have planned that a little bit better. If we are struggling towards the end of the season, that might come back to bite us. 3 away games at the end of the season.
But officially, no one's left yet.
No one's left yet, and we've just made that addition of Alex Swindale. So at the moment, same squad as last season. Now I was speaking to one of the players. They're really enjoying back at training now, and they're being worked really hard. So ready for the season.
So home, that's Sunday the 29th of March. Kick off 2 o'clock is Man City away Liverpool on the Wednesday 1st of April. Then at home to Notts County, home to Chelsea, home to Bristol Academy. Three on the trot at home and then 3 on the trot away is a bit silly.
Obviously, the contra side to having 3 away games to end the season, it gives you a good chance to start the season well with 4 out of the 5 games at home. So if we do start the season well, we can.
It's then Sunderland away, Man City away, home to Arsenal, home to Liverpool, away to Chelsea, home Sunderland, And this is the away run-in. Bristol Academy away, Notts County away, and Arsenal away. Arsenal on that last game, they've picked that one out, haven't they? For a bit of,
they might have, yeah.
Are you still as pessimistic or any more optimistic?
Well, for a bit of
Me?
TV coverage, perhaps.
Because you were pretty pessimistic.
Yeah. The more I get close to the season, I think the more optimistic I'll get. Because, speaking to the players and that, they are still really up for it. And we're probably going to be there in the pundits' eyes, along with Bristol and Sunderland as the ones to go down again, because we haven't spent any money, but we've shown before we can do it.
So they all said that last year, didn't they?
Yeah, well, exactly. We had
a great season, so
the momentum and the belief is still there. So.
Right, just got to make a public apology for the small intermittent break that we had during the half-time interval. It's due to Chris Brown spilling his beer all over the keyboard.
I did, yeah.
And knocking his computer out. So,
that's right. There's a certain button now on my keyboard that if I press, it knocks it off. And I can't remember which one it is, so I'm not going to touch my keyboard.
The on-off button.
It could be. That's what it is, yeah. So I'm not going to bother touching it now.
So have the ladies gone back into training now then, Chris?
Yeah, back training now.
Yep.
Like I say, the players have been tweeting about how hard it's been and how hard they're being worked by the fitness coaches. So they're going to be making sure that they're ready for that Man City game.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure Dave will have them.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
pretty well sorted out.
Absolutely.
Did you see today that the cup draw's been made as well? The FA Cup draw been made.
The FA Cup draw. I think they play next week. The next FA Cup round, but we don't go in until the next round. But I think the draw will be made after this weekend.
When's the final for the FA Cup?
That's well, actually, I saw somebody tweet about that earlier. It's normally around the same time as the men's, end of May.
It's like in the middle of the women's season.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, because it runs alongside the normal the men's FA Cup. But like you say, the final will be mid-season then. But I saw somebody tweet earlier that they've penciled it in for the 1st of August, which is
quite late
after the Women's World Cup, which takes place this year, because we've got a mid-season. If you have a look at the fixtures, there's a 2-month break in between the fixtures for the Women's World Cup.
Where's the final held? Is it?
It's a different venue every year. Ashton Gate was the year we won it. Last year it was.
Was it Milton Keynes?
Milton Keynes has been before. Coventry, Rico, it's been before as well. So. Yeah, it's decided closer to the date.
Just on the Women's World Cup, any Blues players got any chance of being there?
In the England squad?
Or just in general?
Yeah. Well, pretty much all of our players are English anyway. Yeah, definitely. Karen
Carney's obviously.
Karen will be in it if she's fit. Jade Moore will be in it if she's fit. And Joe Potter's got into the squad recently. So we've got a friendly against the USA in a couple of weeks, so the squad will be announced for that soon, so you might get a better idea of the World Cup squad.
I mean, just quickly as well, have you heard about what the Radio WM DJ said the other day?
Yes, yeah.
I can't believe what he said. Danny Kelly, I can't believe what he said.
It's always a dangerous one to do that.
He's along the lines of, like, he just said, call women's football naff, and didn't he make some comparison with Sunday League
standard, yeah.
Well, the only thing I'll say to Danny Kelly is, number one, turn up, watch a game.
Yeah.
And number two, perhaps join in training for a couple of 3 hours.
I know a lot of a couple of the Blues ladies players were saying that they'd be more than happy to invite him down.
I'm sure they would. I'm telling you now, Chris, right, with absolute honesty, I would not go in for a tackle with one of them girls, mate. End of. And I actually physically was sat in the press box and could hear bones crunching together. And they were still just getting up and carrying on. There's none of this, like, malarkey, none of this rolling around, like, I'll have you next time, bang down you go. It was hard, it was solid, kid.
I can't believe he actually said that.
No.
Because I bet he's never been to a woman's game before in his life.
Well, I think he said...
Maybe he won a bet with that one.
Yeah, he said something about watching one on the television or something, but it's, like you say, maybe his listener figures haven't been as good as he wanted, and he just wanted to stir things up, maybe.
It's not done them any good to you.
Well, yeah. Yeah, it's always a dangerous one to go down that route, because it alienates so many.
It's silly to make comments like that.
Yeah.
Without, if again, he's a professional presenter. Do your research. Go out, do your research. Come back, and then make an honest, informed opinion of what you see in front of you.
I watch women's football. a lot, and there are games where I think, bloody hell, this is a terrible advert for the women's game.
Yeah, but there are men's
But
games.
then,
Yeah,
but
there are
then I
men's
watch
games, yeah.
Cambridge Man United on Friday night, and I think, my goodness, what on earth is going on here? So, it swings and roundabouts, and like you say, it's just a silly thing to say, really.
Do you reckon that we'll have a game one day between like a men's team and a women's team and maybe a men's team, just to see where the women's game is at?
Do you think the
It'd
FA
be an
would
interesting
allow
thing
it?
to watch.
Yeah, football leagues that would allow it for a start.
If both sides are up for it,
If it was for a charity, perhaps.
yeah,
Yes.
possibly. Yeah,
I think, if you could
if
base
there's
it
a
around
charity
that,
behind
Who
it
would
where-
have thought just 20 years, 15 years ago that we'd have like women officials on
Yeah,
the
well,
same
exactly.
pitch, So.
Well, who would have thought 20 years ago that we'd be talking about women's football like we
Exactly,
do?
yeah,
yeah.
You know, and the sport is developing, it is
Yeah.
progressing.
Well, the fixtures were announced on the BBC Sport website earlier, and that, like you say, that sort of thing. Just,
Like early 1900, early part of the century.
Yeah,
Like,
when
they
you
were playing,
stopped it,
they were
didn't
playing in front of like
When
60,
you were
70,000
around.
people.
You remember
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
I was there when we rattled.
I mean, I'll be honest. I don't think a women like a women's team in the women's Super League could hope to compete with a professional men's team, but
Is
a
that
good
what-
semi-professional side.
Mister, I remember standing in front of you, just to the left and to the right and just slightly behind you, when you were berating that linesman.
At the Notts County game.
Yeah,
Oh, I was absolutely.
yeah.
Oh, I was,
And we just had an absolutely hilarious time.
yeah.
was
Oh
no
no,
hassle.
oh no, it's absolutely
I mean,
fantastic day.
the,
But what?
the linesman was bending his elbows up, and he got like. He was taking a rip because it looked like he got little pound coins stuck to the end of his elbow.
Yeah, oh.
And he was taking it as well.
Yeah.
And it was just a great night out, a good laugh. It was in the summer,
Oh,
it was
it is.
nice and warm.
Yeah.
You stood out there in your t-shirts, and it's all nice.
No doubt about it. It's a really good thing to watch women's football. But all I would say is that I don't. They could, because obviously they're semi-professional, so they've got they
Yeah.
should have no hope of competing with the men's
It is the
professional
tempo.
team. I'd
Yeah.
like. I just wonder if against a decent men's semi-professional team or even a decent men's amateur team, I'd just like to see what the comparison would be. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it would ever happen, but it'd be quite a good thing to watch.
I think it'd be a good thing
Nick
to
said
watch the first team play. I might be
if
honest
there was a
with you.
way in which you could do it for charity, so
Yeah.
but so in a sense, you said to them, listen, don't go crazy, don't go elbows up and everything like that. But I suppose in the heat of a game, and knowing the Blues ladies players as I do, they'll be equally as going in as the men would be. But yeah, so
Yeah, because I remember interviewing Karen Carney after the help me out, what game was it? The
Arsenal
St Andrews.
Champions League, yeah.
And it's I mentioned to her that you don't. And she says, "Well, we're not like the blokes." She says, "We get up and get on with it.
Yeah.
Get up and get on with it into the next challenge."
Yeah.
And it was crunching, man. It really
Yeah,
was. So,
no doubt.
Danny Kelly, there you go. There's your invite.
He's more than welcome to come down.
Yeah.
Guest of honour.
Actually, we
Be
should
awesome.
organise for him to go to a game then at the Moors one night
Yeah.
and take his BBC Radio West Midlands entourage with him.
You'd be
And
more
we'll
than,
take our
more than
sports radio
welcome.
microphones and we'll give him a run for his money, eh?
Absolutely.
He probably won't turn up, I reckon.
Do you know what? I think you're probably right there.
Yeah.
You think you're probably right. All right, okay, go back on to a little issue that happened over the weekend and at the Blues West Brom game is that I've been hearing that there are the issues on West Bromwich Albion supporters actually getting into the football ground, and one poor old man, it took him half an hour to find the right turnstile to get in, and one steward sent him one way and then another steward had sent him another way, and then he had to go back the same way again before he found out where the poor guy was going. We've staged big games at St Andrews before, and we'll stage them again in the future. So I think we've got to learn from that as a little lesson. All the stewards must be briefed beforehand, be on the ball, know exactly what way you're sending people, and also at the end of the game, from the top of the GM, the Birmingham City fans were allowed to mingle and walk out with the West Bromwich Albion supporters. The two teams relatively get on. Right.
I don't think it would never happen if it was.
No.
But having said that, it happened, and it shouldn't happen anywhere at any football ground ever. Right. There is an exit down the bottom and out to the back end of the main stand.
Yeah.
right? And there's also the exit out to the main car park. That should have been shepherded. It should have been shut off, really. Had it have been another game, and don't get me wrong, the guy that rang in, he says the Birmingham City fans were all great, we were all having, shaking hands and this, that and the other. He said that wasn't the point. He said this is football, and things can just spark off in a split second.
I was walking through Digbeth and something nearly did spark off.
The Tilton Talk Show on srbradio.com.
All go out if I that pen.
Yeah.
But I think obviously because there were so many Albion fans, they had to open up the other exit, which usually be
you
a
may be
home
right.
exit.
You may be right, but it was just a concern that somebody had, so I thought I'd just air it. That
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you now. I think policing actually this season, I know it's actually been a lot more laissez-faire, shall we say? It's actually been a lot more relaxed. I mean, I'll give you an example. I'd never ever thought this would happen in a million years. But Blues fans were allowed to mingle with Millwall fans after the game at the Den on this season. Honestly, we'll get,
really?
Usually Blues fans. They do it so the Blues fans get the one, because obviously a lot of Blues fans go on the train, even on a night game. They hold up 1 or 2 trains specifically for Blues fans, get them all on, get them out. But this year they had the Millwall fans and the Blues fans sharing effectively the same tram, and I thought that would never happen. But even some of the dodgier places like West Ham, you mingle there. You mingle. Man City's another one which is always a bit hairy, but you're pretty much mingling there. I mean, to be fair, 99% of football fans will behave themselves. So
99% will, yeah. 99% of the people that come to the club on a Saturday night will behave themselves.
Yeah,
it just takes the one, and it just takes that one, and then somebody else's girlfriend gets bumped, and somebody else's handbag and somebody else's drink gets spilt, and before you know
escalates.
it, yeah. So it's something we've got to be mindful of,
Yeah.
Well, not we here as Sports Radio, but certainly the club have got to be mindful of.
Yeah.
Is segregation issues.
SRB Radio, Internet Radio.
And on the 12th day of Christmas, a user gave to me 12 email problems, 11 system errors, 10 ribbons fading, 9 printers jamming, 8 phones are ringing, 7 files are missing, 6 servers crashing, 5 token rings, 4 virus files, 3 dead disks, 2 Venanda cards, and a problem with IT. Well done, Mr. Chris.
That was quite good, that was. Very good. Well
You
done.
just made that up.
Top of my head, kids.
No.
You couldn't write the script, could you? Huh? Apologies for being down for 3 or 4
I'm not
minutes.
touching
Again,
nothing.
It's definitely down to Mrs.
It is,
Brown.
It is.
Congratulations to Damari Gray, Young Player of the Month.
For the Football League.
Football League, yeah. Nice to acknowledge the Football League know there's a Birmingham City out there. Sarcasm, tongue in cheek.
Well, I know there's Damari Gray out there anyway.
A bit worried about these improved offers that keep coming in from Bournemouth, though.
I don't think he'll go.
They keep getting turned down though.
I don't think he'll go.
What they're on, $3.5 million for him at the minute, aren't they?
Yeah, I think it's about 3.5 million. If anything, I'd actually prefer him to go to a club like Bournemouth. If he was to leave, obviously you want him to stay because he's a good player and you want all your good players to stay. But if he was to leave, then I'd prefer him to go somewhere like Bournemouth than like a Liverpool or a Tottenham, which would maybe and just sit in their reserves. I'd sooner actually go to Bournemouth.
I think I think he probably is aware that would happen as well, because he's not mature enough to be in a top Premier side. We look at Nathan Redmond. We hardly hear his name mentioned now. He would have been better off staying at Blues without a doubt.
But at least he's getting games at Norwich. I mean, the better example to use would probably be Jack Butland. Well, basically went to only Stoke. Yes, I know they're still a Premier League team, but they're not as big as like a Tottenham or Liverpool.
Stoke were winning 1-0. Is that still the case, GA? If we could have a look.
I think, but as I said about Stoke, all Butland's done is the last 2 years. He just spent time bouncing around the different football league clubs.
Still the same.
Yeah, still the same. So
still winning 1-0. He's got to be wary of that. I don't think he'll go though. I think the fact that I'm actually quite surprised if actually keep rejecting these bids. A couple of years ago, we'd have been snapping their hands off like that. But I'm not sure. I think he'll probably stay till the summer now. At the end of the day, he's got to think for himself. Even if he went to somewhere like Bournemouth, at the moment he's in a team playing for a manager that seems to be getting the best out of him.
I'm sure Blues would like to get him on a 4-year deal or something like that, so that
sure they would.
But you know what I mean. So, so that if anybody comes along for him, you've got to buy the contract out as well.
Down the road have done with Fabian Delph, because Fabian Delph's obviously going to be at Villa for the next 4.5 years.
50, is it 55 grand a week, something like that?
I don't know. Was it a 4.5 year deal?
4.5 years.
That basically means you've now got to pay 25 million for him rather than 5 million for him. Because his contract.
Well, they must have trebled his wages, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
he must be on some ridiculous deal there.
But Wilfried Boney signed a new Swansea contract in October, and he left 2 months later to join City.
It's nothing for Man City to buy a contract out, though, is it?
It just means that you have to pay for him now, rather than pay nothing.
I'm surprised players actually do it, you know. Because now it becomes a hell of a lot harder for them to get out of the club if they ever did want to leave.
But then
Yeah,
you're
if it didn't go well, yeah.
What would you like to do? Would you like to have a nice piece of paper, a piece of A4 paper with your available signature on the bottom, which say we're going to pay you £55,000 a week, even during the summer when you're not actually doing anything and you're up on the beach, 55 grand a week for the next 4.5 years.
But if I was Fabian Delph, I'd be kind of thinking if he does. I'm not Fabian Delph. I don't know if he wants to stay or leave. But if he did want to leave in the summer, it's now. 4.5 years is a hell of a long time. It's a hell of a big contract. He's now, Villa can now hold out for as long as they want with him.
But then Liverpool have spent big on English midfielders before, and I think he is liked by them. I think it's just a ploy to say to Liverpool, you've now got to pay 25 million for him rather than snap him up for nothing in the summer.
But he's cheered them up no end, hasn't he?
Well, yeah.
It
was the perfect bit of PR for him, wasn't it, to announce it just before that game.
But it's mad, really.
Yeah, very much so.
I was shocked, but as with regards to Dimmy, I'm not sure how long is his contract.
No idea.
Is it? I think it may be to the end of next season. I don't think it runs out this summer.
I was very surprised to hear that Sky Sports and say that their sources say that he's desperate to leave. He doesn't seem that sort of player who'd be desperate to leave.
And I'm surprised that the likes of Chris Scudder would allow that to go through, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Chris being a staunch Birmingham City supporter.
Yeah.
And if Dimmy was desperate to leave, he certainly doesn't come across that way on social
all,
networks,
no.
and he does talk to the fans,
Yeah.
But it just doesn't appear that way inclined, to be perfectly honest with you.
I don't. Yeah, as I said, I know Bournemouth are a better team. They could go better team than those. They could be up in the Premier League. They've got a very good chance.
Yeah.
But as I said, at the moment he's playing for a good side. No, he's playing a good side that seems to be getting the best out of him for a manager that seems to rate him. Does he want to risk upsetting that so soon?
At the end of the day, he's 19. He's still going to be a good player in the summer.
Yeah, you can wait till then and see what's happening. But I don't think he'll go now.
Yeah,
not at least till the summer. I'm pretty confident. But
competition.
Yes, competition. I'm just trying to find out the actual attendance at the West Brom game.
Oh,
28 wasn't it?
28,500 was it?
28,440 something, I believe.
Exactly right, but I can't find it on the BBC.
We're far.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so Capo predicted 3-2 win to Blues, so that's wrong. Hobber 0-0, that was wrong. Me 2-1 to Blues, wrong. Chris Brown 2-0 to Blues, wrong. Chris Pugh was the only one that got the... no, he wasn't actually. GA said a 0-1.
Yeah.
So you were 2 goals out there, and you said 1-3, you were just the 1 goal out there with 28-9.
Width of a post away.
Sorry?
Width of a post away when Brunt hit the post later on.
Having said that, we did play well second half.
We did play very well second half.
All right, so it's Sheffield Wednesday versus Blues tomorrow night.
Yep.
28-4-3-6.
28-4-3-6. If we could have the predictions for Sheffield.
4-3-8.
Sorry, 28?
4-3-8.
Okay, so Capo 28-3-2-7. That was his revised offer. I think that's about the closest. Yeah. Capo was the closest on the...
Again?
Yeah.
He's always
pretty
pretty close,
we did say
isn't he?
29-8-1.
Yeah, no, he's always pretty close. Well done.
So here we go. Sheffield Wednesday versus Blues. Chris Pugh.
Before we do that, I've got some facts about that to sort of help you sort of make your mind up. That's
go on.
Some stuff I found. Hold on.
Sorry, I always got a bit dubious when you find stuff.
Yeah, and me.
You sound like my wife.
I don't, believe me, I think my voice is deeper than hers.
I'm not sure. The Owls have won their last 2 home games against Birmingham, scoring 7 goals in the process.
Oh, God, I remember last season we went to...
Not interested.
Yeah.
Not interested.
Birmingham have found the net on each of their last 5 visits to Hillsborough.
Mm-hmm.
No side has scored fewer goals than the Owls this term. Only David Button has made more saves than Birmingham's Darren Randolph. And no player has won more points thanks to their league goals this season than Clayton Donaldson.
Right, okay, some good stats there.
So it's just on the Donaldson one. That's the mark. I think that's always been the true mark of a goal scorer. Not how many goals you necessarily score, but how many points your goals win and how important they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic stat.
Okay, Chris Pugh then. Result first.
Result. I will take a point. Absolutely take a point.
0-0, 1-1, 2-2.
So it will be 1-1.
1-1.
And the attendance will be Hillsborough 22 200.
200, okay. Now,
Well, the stat about them not scoring, they've no one scored fewer goals than Sheffield Wednesday suggested that, but they're quite high up on the list. Suggests they're quite good at the back. We don't. We can score goals, but we're not. I wouldn't say we're a free scoring team. I'd say I'm going to go 0-0.
0-0. And attendance for you?
19-3-1-2.
3-1-2, GA.
I'm going to go. I'm going to surprise you all. I'm going to go 2-1 to Blues.
1-2.
19,313.
3-1-3. Chris Brown.
I'm going to go for 2-0 Blues.
0-2.
Yeah, 2-0 Blues, and I'm going to go for 18,300.
I'm going 1-2 to the Blues, 17,362. If we get any more, come on the shout box, let me know in due course. Okie dokie. Right, okay, so again, once again, apologise for the interruptions in the programme tonight. At least it will all be stitched together on a recording tomorrow.
It will be, yeah.
So,
As will Webby.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
What, sorry?
As will Webby.
Looks like a new keyboard tomorrow then.
Got to say well done to the Blues under 21s.
They won against us.
Yeah, won against they beat Coventry for the second. Was it the second time in 6 days we've played them? Is it something like that?
Sure,
It's
I know
crazy.
he won. I'm not sure.
But apparently the pitch couldn't be played upon. At is it?
Was it Wednesday at West Hills or?
6 days after losing 2-1 at West Hills, Darren Murray's side faced Birmingham City yet again. Problems with the Nuneaton Town pitch meant that a change of venue was required to get the game on at short notice, and the game was switched to Brighton Training Ground. I've played there a few times.
Really?
Brighton on Dunsmore.
Played
You
what?
know
What,
it?
Never heard of it,
what were you
no.
playing?
Is that Coventry's training ground? Is that
Yeah.
Coventry's training ground?
It used to be, yeah, but whether it still is or not, I don't know. Whether it
Oh,
still is
okay.
or not, I don't know. Supporters were admitted, and there were a few plus former players. This is from a Coventry perspective. Claus Jorgensen, Ian Goodwin to see a City side, which included Ryan Haynes, Connor Thomas, Adam Barton, Danny Swanson and Sean Miller, who had City's first chance in the 9 minutes. Ryan Haynes made a great tackle to concede a 12th-minute corner that was cleared, and the Blues attacked again through Solomon Otterbourne.
He's
Bear
meant,
in
to be
mind-
quite, he's meant to be quite a good
Yeah,
player.
yeah, I've heard that. Yeah. Haynes and Miller put together a good move down the left in the 21st minute. 4 minutes later, Birmingham took the lead with a header from Leon Truslov, which went into the bottom corner. Miller went close on the 20-yarder as City passed the ball around. Well, Reece Brown, not the one who played for City on loan, fired at Berg and Swanson and had a tame effort before. Miller had a shot deflected for a 36th-minute corner. Devon Kelly-Evans. Double barrel names. I just don't get it, me.
The
Devon Kelly-Evans was unlucky with an effort that worked well for City along with Stevenson, Lawton and Haynes. Jordan Shipley was sent on for the second half, which saw Birmingham with an early goal disallowed and a Truslov shot. Lawton was marshalling City defence well, but was unlucky to concede a 62nd minute free kick on the edge of the area. Brown took the kick, but Berg was down to his right to save. Berg saved from McGee, with Brown firing wide from the inside of the area, 67th minute, and against a Coventry side who kept the ball in their own half. In the 72nd minute, a shove by Nat Kelly gave City a free kick that Haynes curled over. City offered little up front and went down to a defeat. So well done to the Blues under 21s.
just quickly, you mentioned Reece Brown. I was thinking the other day, how much has he dropped off the radar?
Yeah.
I mean, he don't even. I can't even remember making the bench under Howitt. Never mind even getting on.
No.
It's a shame because last season he was looking. I mean, to be honest, I thought last season the way they were playing and the game time they were getting, I actually thought he was the better prospect out of him and Gray. But he just seemed.
Yeah.
But Brown just seems to have completely gone by the way. So I don't know what's happened, but not sure really.
Yeah, dipping form.
Could do with going out on loan, maybe. Get some game time.
Well, he went to Notts, didn't he? And then he's when he came back with what was supposedly an injury, whether something else has happened, I don't know. But he went to Notts County. He apparently played quite well for them, but he came back early.
All going on there. David
Dear
Kelly.
me.
PPI.
PPI.
You sure it wasn't David Kelly?
Right, 15 minutes to go, lovelies, and 12 months ago, to the day apart from one, This is what we were talking about on Sports Radio. Lee Clark promises lots of movements, both in and out at Blues. Who's going out? Who's coming in? It all finishes on Friday at 11 o'clock. So things are hotting up now. Not won at home since September, apart from Bristol in the Cup.
Sounds familiar.
Blues crash out of the FA Cup against Premier League Swansea. Packwood's first game back. Another good performance from Reece Brown. There you go.
Yeah. But he's not nowhere to be found now, though.
Yeah, I know. Blues on Saturday against Swansea, 15 quid. We played Swansea off the park first half. Desperate for a centre-half since Dan Burn went back to Fulham. There's another name from the past, isn't it? Dan Burn. Lee Clark's comments, what do you have to do to win a football game? Score
more
and stop anybody else from scoring in your net. It's a kind of a start, isn't it? The writing was kind of on the wall there, wasn't it? Why didn't I see it a year ago?
And don't give half-time talks.
Yeah.
Carl Bartley and Tom Adeyemi both back from injury. Paul Robinson is to miss the next 2 games due to totting up his 10th booking of the season. Lesson up next tomorrow, and Tilton tickets were 25 quid.
I'm just wondering, does anyone know what this is the 4th anniversary of?
This is the 4th anniversary today of... What date is it?
It's 26th of January. Anyone got any ideas?
2, 3, 4. It's certainly not the 4th anniversary of the Carling Cup, because that was in February, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was the 4th anniversary of the Carling Cup second leg against West Ham.
Was it?
Tonight. 4 years ago.
4 years ago today.
That was almost, and that night was almost as good as winning at Blooming Wembley. The way it actually turned out.
Great night. Yeah, brilliant night. So Derby on Saturday. Tilton tickets were priced at 30 quid. What's happened to Callum Riley? We gave boxer Wayne Penson a mention on that night. Do you remember him, Wayne Penson?
Yeah.
Blues ladies, well done to Karen Carney for notching 90 minutes up against the Norwegian team La Manga. You remember that one?
Yeah.
They were currently 4th in the league with 18 points. Blues ladies can confirm UEFA Women's Champion League quarter-final leg against Arsenal. It will be held at St Andrews Monday 24th of March.
Remember that one?
That was a cold night. What else were we? We were talking about your funniest moment at a football match. Nikola Zigic, is he taking a fortune out of the club? Not even in the squad. What's happening? 70 grand a week, not in the squad. Hardcore of Blues fans was 13,000 at that time. And Peter Panu taking a fortune out of the club, yet we never hear from him. Where are the answers?
You know what? Tonight was going to be a record night. It would have been the first night.
We never said his
But
name.
we hadn't mentioned that night or Carson. And we 12 minutes to go.
But it's weird. It's funny though. Even with all the change of manager and the upturning fortunes we have, we're still talking about the same sort of things we were a year ago.
And a year before that, transfer deadline tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Wolves bid for King and Davis turned down. Butland refuses to move to Chelsea. Judas £500,000 bid for Burke turned down. Are the new owners on the horizon? Hey, it's 2 years ago. BCFC protest group were in action. FA fit and proper persons test, we were talking about that. Would you believe it? FA not replying to correspondence. No answer from Peter Panu.
That's not bad. The past couple of years. No, we could have just thought.
Judas returning, of course, to make it noisy.
It'd be much easier for us, wouldn't it, really, if we just rehashed the same old shows. Just put the same show as last year on.
Let's see if I can go back another year, can I? No, I can. I've only got till the 5th of the 10th, 2011. 2012. 21st of the 2nd, 2012. But hey.
So basically, things haven't changed, have they?
No.
Well,
No.
hold on. Surely the most important thing has changed. You're 11th in the league, guys.
Yeah, we are. We can't forget that. But it was just a little bit of a fun having a look back. I think I might do that every week now, just have a quick glance back and see what we were talking about a year and 2 years ago. I really need to sneeze at this present point in time, so if somebody else could take over, I'd appreciate it.
Here he goes.
Couple of horrible feelings like the Duke. Right. Anybody else come on the shout box with any predictions?
Everybody's really quiet.
We probably lost them all, so they probably turned off. We'll just have to do it on. Hey ho, these things happen. It's live. What can you do? You know, Chris spills his beer. Then he goes and gets himself another can of Strongbow. It's all right for him. He ain't got to drive home. So, Chris, how did the burger sales go the weekend?
Yeah, it was better. We had more. We did run out again, but not nowhere near as dramatic as the Derby game. So there was still hot food left for people. So it was better organised. It was better staffed. So
Do you think we just got caught out in that derby game?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I just think they underestimated how many people would actually be there. So yeah, but it was much better staffed and better organised this time round.
Right. Okay.
How much are the
Update.
burgers by?
£3.30.
They're one of the
Catching
dearest.
out.
One of the dearest for cups of tea, aren't we? In the league.
£2.20.
Yeah. Well, I think we are the dearest for a cup of tea in the league. £2.20 for a cup of tea. My dad would be spinning in his grave. Well, he wouldn't. He won't.
Do they still do Bovril?
They're
They
cremated.
do.
They do.
Love a Bovril.
Do you know, we were discussing Bovril yesterday, and I think there was an old school advert we saw for Bovril. Remember?
I love can't beat a cup of Bovril. Then.
No.
I tell you what, you wouldn't. If we could go back now, Chris, and envisage that guy that used to walk around with the big silver urn on the back. If we could have actually seen inside that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I bet one week there was Bovril and it weren't washed out. I bet the following week there was tea in it which tasted like Bovril, which weren't washed out. And if you had a cup of tea, it always had that sterilised milk in it as well.
Oh,
didn't it?
that's right.
Yeah?
Yeah, big sterile.
Sterilised milk.
That's right.
And we won't even begin to discuss the toilets at the top corner of the Tilton and the Cop.
No.
Not even once.
You,
not
no,
even.
no,
The
you
river.
didn't go to the toilet, did you? I thought you just went. You just
no.
found some back of someone's legs and
you went towards that area and you could never get in. I mean, it was a hut the size of this room, wasn't it? Basically.
It was underground.
25,000.
No, I'm on about the underground one at the, on the top of the corner.
The corner, yeah.
Yeah, that underground one.
Nah.
That should have been made into a museum.
Yeah.
It really should, Chris. Honestly,
Do you
it really,
remember,
really
do
should.
you remember there's a toilet just outside?
I'm back. The
Oh, the
green,
green one,
wasn't it? Yeah,
the green one.
yeah, it was all
The
green
green
cast
thing,
iron,
yeah,
wasn't it?
that's
Yeah,
right,
yeah. And if you were on a bit of a bad match, there was all sorts of
Yesterday.
bricks coming over the top of it at you. You know, bad days. Oh dear. Where are we? Right. Any update on the Rochdale Stoke game, if you could?
Well, yeah, half time
Still
is
1-0.
still 1-0.
Still 1-0 at half time.
just think we know you talked about Sheffield Wednesday. We've still got a big game on Saturday as well.
Yes, it's a massive game actually, Saturday, isn't it?
They're in and around us. I think they've underachieved this season.
Yeah,
I know they've got
definitely.
the manager.
Let's see.
now and
Let's have a
that,
look.
but
Let's have a look.
they've,
Let's have a look. Where are they in the league table?
They're about
Below us, I think.
they're
Or are they
us,
just above us?
With the players they've got, they should have been.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to win the league, to be honest, but but they've had a decent.
Well, we're in 11th.
They've had a decent
just
couple of
above
games
us.
with the new manager, but I think they lost on Saturday. So
38. Yeah, we could potentially. Obviously, because we'll take points off Sheffield Wednesday tomorrow if we win. You're dead right. We could actually go 9th tomorrow. 35 to 47. Yeah, we are still sort of 12 points off the playoffs. No, hang on. I'm looking at points now. Really could do with my glasses on. You know what I mean?
but they,
It is 12 off the
It's 12. Yeah, we're 12 points off the playoff place.
but they've really underachieved Norwich for the players that they've got. They should have been higher up the league, but
They're both there for the taking, in my opinion. And
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
they're mid-tables, and if we can keep chipping away at the ones around us, right?
Yeah.
I know you've always, like I said last week, you've always got to be mindful of them below you,
Yeah.
right? But them ones that are around you are like your 6-pointers at the minute, ain't they?
Sheffield have lost their last 2 games.
Long may it continue.
Again,
Well, you know, I've no affinity to Sheffield Wednesday whatsoever. I don't care about Sheffield Wednesday. I don't even care where it is. I don't care about Hillsborough. I don't care about anything else. If the Blues can go there and nick them 3 points tomorrow, happy man. And I'm going to meet my son tomorrow, and we're going to try and listen to the game.
yeah.
If you know what I mean, with a few bottles of wine and his new little dog. He's had a little black dog called Elvis. What are you laughing at?
What breed? What breed?
If
You don't know.
no, it's a highly bred
Surely it's
dog.
got to be a hound dog.
My ex-wife breeds them. My ex-wife breeds them.
Come on, come on, come on. That was too easy. That was. Come on.
Oh dear me! I rang up. There was an Elvis impersonator on in town the other week, and I rang up and I pressed 1 for the money, 2 for the show.
You know, just when you want the computer to freeze,
Yeah.
so it just don't happen, does it?
You can't write this comedy, Chris, can you?
No, thank God you can't write it.
Please don't write it.
No, don't write it. No,
No,
no.
his little dog's called Elvis,
Yeah.
and it's not a Shih Tzu. It's something along those kind of lines.
All right, yeah.
My ex-wife breeds.
Was yours shook up? No. Was yours shook up?
His name's Shep. Old Shep. This is going to deteriorate. It's
I
gonna
know,
get
yeah.
worse,
We're all
This show has
busy.
been the most disjointed, bizarre one I've ever
Yeah,
done.
it has,
It's just
hasn't it?
been like-
Should have come
Bit
to
like-
some of the early ones.
Bit like blues,
It
isn't
all
it? Yeah.
started. It all started because you spilt your beer on
I
your
know,
keyboard.
yeah.
Absolutely your fault. 100%. You know, you should ban liquid from the.
I know. I think we're going to have to. Yeah, we're going to have a table, aren't we, just for beer?
Ban liquid. Yeah, we'll just have a table for the beer.
yeah, that's right.
So, this dog, is he on his own? Is he lonesome tonight?
You've been thinking about that one for hours.
Really,
I could
really
see
have,
ticking out, but anybody else is trying to think of one now, like, and Chris is thinking, oh, a bit
It's
too
got
old
like
for
little
me.
puppy eyes. He looks at you. He says, "Lovely tender." You started me.
Thing is, the dog though.
I actually hope Andy Walker doesn't download this story.
Thing is, with the dog though, they don't talk, so it's a little less conversation.
Yeah.
Chris, you've not joined in, mate.
There's a reason.
I'm just googling now.
I'm trying to keep my dignity. Yeah.
Keep your dignity. You lost that the minute you walked in here.
Yeah, we've definitely lost the plot tonight, but we don't care. We'll just carry on regardless, whatever. All right, we're about there. We're not far off now, so I think we'll perhaps call it a day before anything else gets spilled to all the lights. Well, what can I say? Shambolic, absolutely
Yes.
shambolic, but a good laugh anyway.
Typical.
And I'm still feeling positive about the. I genuinely am. I mean that. I genuinely am, and I just hope tomorrow night is. It for me. It just feels for me like a crunch game tomorrow, and that's just how it feels for me now. You know what I mean?
I can see it's they're around us, you know.
Bang smack. What 19 games or so to go? Right, they're around us, and it's going to be a massive confidence booster.
No
tomorrow,
more
I think.
distractions now. No more cups.
Yes, yeah. I mean,
Nothing else
the
to
FA
go.
Cup's out the way. There's the League Cup's out the way. FA Cup's out the way. It would just be a dream for me, honestly, just to keep climbing that table week by week by week.
I'm just looking at the table now. I personally don't think we'll go down. I don't think there's much chance of it at all. But just looking, we'd probably need 5 wins.
Yeah.
Say 50
Yeah.
points.
50 points, you reckon, this
I
season?
don't. Well, I can't see.
Or
I can't
every
see anyone
season, I'll look
I
at
can't see the
50,
bottom
yeah.
three overtaking that.
I certainly can't see Blackpool getting out of it. I can't see them making any kind of resurgence now.
And
And
Wigan's
after that, the
looks
weekend they're going to be like rock bottom.
Yeah.
Wigan to me looks scuppered at the moment. The way they've been playing, they've been.
That's 11 wins Blackpool need to get to 50 points. 11 out of 19.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen, is
Well,
it?
they're at Blues in a few weeks' time as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
So
Tuesday night
11.
under the
So
lights.
Millwall.
It's been moved to a Wednesday.
Or
Or is it? Or,
is it
It has, I think.
I think our games were
Yeah,
set to
because
half
they're down the road are on the telly
they've got West
on
Brom.
the Tuesday.
Yeah, I think they've got
Oh, have they
So
flipped a
we've
coin
been-
at the PlayStation?
Yeah, we've lost it this time, so we're on the.
So that
Wednesday.
game's now moved to a Wednesday?
Yeah, I think
Right,
so.
okay.
Just really, really quickly, what sort of reception do you reckon Clark will get?
Booze.
One drunken Geordie. It's only one drunken Geordie.
Do you reckon? I don't think it. I mean, he'll probably get booed, but I don't think it'll be like a McLeish.
It won't be
shot.
McLeish. No, nothing like that.
McLeish
no.
did the ultimate sin. He
Yeah.
has to cross that A38, right? That you don't even. When we're driving down it, right? If I'm driving my son to go and see my granddaughter, we get on the A38 at Spaghetti Junction to go into town, and he's looking to his left. He will not look right. He will not look right.
If he'd have took us down,
Hey, he's left.
if he'd have took us down, he might have got a bit more of a pounding. But I think, yeah, that he won't be applauded on,
No.
but it won't be anything vicious. I don't
Do we think he's still going to be the Blackpool manager by the time they play against us?
Do you think?
I don't think they've got much option, have they?
Is he? Oh God,
Who else
yeah,
is going to
look.
take it?
All right, last question of the night then. Do you think he's going to want to come back to St Andrews?
Not particularly.
No.
If we keep
I
going,
think
if both teams' form keeps going the way it does,
I think that's why he's losing every game now to get himself sacked before he has to come
yeah,
back.
yeah.
I do think it's going to be a comedy show though, and I'm going to look forward to it. But I don't hold disregard to the guy. He's got to get on with what he's doing. We've moved on.
I don't think.
that's
I
football.
don't think he'd enjoy going back to St Andrews.
No.
Yeah. And he is going to get some abuse.
Yeah,
Because that's what Block 11 do. That's what Birmingham City do. They abuse everybody. They don't care. But it's only banter. But having said that, don't forget when we went to their place, they turned us over. We'll leave you with that thought. Keep right on to the end of the road. Good luck to the Blues tomorrow night against Sheffield Wednesday and Saturday against Norwich. Let's hope we've sitting here this time next week with a little bit of a more organised show.
6 points better.
6 points better off.
Just one
3 points up the table. 3 places up the table. Chris, glad you had a good birthday.
Thank you.
GA, nice to see you. Thanks, Nat.
Cheers.
It's been a laugh. It's been a journey tonight, mate. A journey. That's all I could.
Get right on.
Chris, well done.
Thanks.
It's bad when even the whistler loses his whistle, isn't it?